crazy.
Show off your skin, that shit is popping, girl. Body on 10, damn, you got it, girl. You gotta boss up, getting them checks, living your best, racks up. Oh, keep walking with confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
I'm honestly so disappointed and so hurt that white women on this app really believe that black women hate them. I understand that the content that I upload is controversial. I touch on a lot of sensitive topics that a lot of people are scared of. I speak for all black women when I say we love white queens who respect all queens of every ethnic background. We do, however, hate you possums and snow roaches that think that you are above us when you actually can't compete or compare. You are second choice, you always have been and you always will be. Black men choose you when they can't get what they want from us. It's laughable that you think that the idea of us hating you actually exists. Bitch, you're not important enough. Know your place and don't you ever get it fucked up.
Hello, guys. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Women Exodus. How are you all doing? Like always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Please share. Also, please say what's up in the chat. Say hey in the comment section. Let me know that you're listening. Also, shout out to my moderators, always holding it down. Shout out to Moonweaver. Shout out to Nelly P. Shout out to Holland. I appreciate you and the work that you do. Also, if you have any tips or suggestions for content that you'd like to see, please feel free to email that at my Gmail at lexusexoduschannel@gmail.com. In addition to that, please also follow my backup page when you have a moment, just in case something happens to this one. That's LexX, that is LEXEX, and you will also see a link in the description below. A few quick housekeeping items. Y'all, go check out Roadrunner 89's channel. He was so sweet and allowed me to be on his platform this past weekend. He's actually a white male who's been married to his black wife for almost 30 years. And he allowed me to be on his platform. So go ahead and check that out. I really enjoyed myself speaking with him. And he's such a wonderful guy. He's the one where I actually came across one of his videos because he was just gushing about black women and how much he loved and adored and cherished his wife, and talked about how black women are his preferences. And I actually utilized a small clip of one of his videos in my Brad video, so check that out. But he's such a sweet guy, such a great guy. I actually would love to have him on this platform, but I'm a little bit reluctant to do that just because although he is such a wholesome content creator, he doesn't even curse, and he talks about, how his wife is such a blessing and really just shares tons of positivity. He still talks about how he still gets trolls on his Facebook account and how trolls have, attacked his wife online just for him simply stating that black women are his preference. So I've thought about having like a call-in show and having people featured on my page, but I think if I were to do that route, everyone would have to be anonymous because, my trolls are relentless and they're ruthless. And so I don't want to leave you guys vulnerable to that type of attacking and harassment. So anyway, I also created a Discord as well, but I'm just really thinking about the best way to roll it out because I want you guys to be engaged and responsive and talking back with me. So keep an eye out for that. The Discord will be coming down the pipeline soon. Shout out to Exo Gods who shared some support and offered her assistance with helping me roll that out. So stay tuned for that. And then also, have y'all been noticing an influx of cloud chasers, y'all? Y'all been messaging me about a bunch of nakers who have been using my name in the title of their videos for clicks, trying to get clout. And I'm just like, y'all act like I'm Cynthia G or I'm one with Tasha K or something. This is still a newer channel. If you're going to chase for clout, then make sure that it's worthwhile, y'all. A trip, a mess. But anyway, let's get into what we came here for. This is an emergency episode of the Blackistan Zoo, where we profile the animals, creatures, and dusty derelicts in Blackistan. Y'all, yesterday, Kitten Hill King Kitten Samuels was exposed yet again for being a closeted booty warrior. He accidentally shared a video on his live of a man in his bed. And of course, his followers went crazy. They're still brainwashed like they're in a cult or something, and they're dick riding, caping for this man. And Miss Archduchess even did a live yesterday about this instance. And, you know, the kitty cats were hot and bothered. They were calling in, triggered, acting like they were in heat. So the video got flagged and taken down right when it was getting real good. So today we're going to profile the King Kitten Hills himself and the Pussycat Gang as well, as another installment of the Blackistan Zoo. And like always, we'll go through their profile, where they live, where they reside, what they look like, their appearances. Then we'll go through examining these animals in their natural habitats. So let's go. So your Pussycat Kitten Heels man, he is found very prominently on YouTube. Also, you'll find these men in the manosphere spaces, also in red pill spaces. Their appearances, so they're characterized by having very limp wrists, also wet booty holes. They're very feminine. They like to sway their hips, so they're going to switch their hips and sway back and forth. They also like to wear kitten heels. Their behavior. So this is very important to note. So kittens are very feminine men. They are actually closeted gay men who are secretly jealous of Black women because they wish they were them. So they're obsessed with us, and they're very hateful. They denigrate and degrade and berate women because they want to destroy the Black woman's image in the eyes of the men that they wish that they could be with. So you'll see them dismiss and diminish your accomplishments, and they'll degrade you regardless of what kind of woman that you are, because they have this innate hatred and vitriol for Black women, because they really hate and are envious and want to be Black women. So you'll see them always moving the bar as well. They'll always move the goalposts, and whatever you do, it's never enough. You can be the vice president of the United States, and that's still not enough. So you'll see them say, oh, so you have a PhD, you have a doctorate degree. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter because you're overweight and you need to get in shape and you need to get in the gym. If you say that, oh, well, actually, I am in shape and I am in the gym and I work out regularly, in addition to being a doctorate, owning a doctorate, and having multiple degrees, then they'll come back with and they'll say, well, it doesn't matter because with your education and your career, you think you're a man and you're too masculine. And then if you say, oh, well, actually, I don't have education or a career because I'm feminine and, I want to be submissive and I'd actually prefer to be a housewife and to take care of my husband and children. Well, then they'll come back with, well, you ain't shit and you're average at best and your net worth is only $5. So you don't deserve to be a stay-at-home mom. You see what I mean? So it's like the goalpost just keeps moving with them. And it's because they really do just have this innate natural hatred for Black women. And they want to knock you down a peg and ruin your self-esteem and ruin your self-image so they can have access to the men that you have access to. So your notable kittens, Tommy Sodomizer, we think of Minister Jab, always denigrating Black women. We also call him Minister Crap. Also Kitten Hill Samuels, of course, he is the king of the kittens and the kitty cat, pussy cats in Blackistan. So now that we know the profile of this animal, let's actually examine these kittens and examine their innate behaviors and their natural interactions in their native habitats.
They always hang around the cool kids. I tried to tell him I'm not gonna marry your mama and I'm not gonna be your stepdaddy, so stop coming around. But he just don't know no better. Bless his heart. Baby Yoda. Anywho, what you got for me? How old are you, by the way?
44.
44. So remember them kids. See, boys like that used to put them in, we put them in the special ed class when we were coming up. We can't use the words we used to use. But anyway, what do you got for me? Black women, what are you willing to do to save our community?
Um, I've been thinking about this, but I think that we need to have more patience
Okay.
when it comes to dealing with our men, or just in general.
Uh-huh.
And I think that with having more patience, then um, hopefully that will lead to better results down the road, even and allow us to do better in challenging times.
Mm-hmm. What the heck just happened here? Somebody's sleeping in their bed. Oh, oh, yeah, glitch in the system. Having more patience with your men. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Ever been married?
Okay, so y'all saw that. And first off, before we even get into the nonsense, can we talk about how this man, Kitten Hills, is asking a woman to figure out how to remedy and improve the community to begin with? So before we even get to the bullshit, before he even airs himself out and exposes himself for being a pussy warrior, he is already illustrating his effeminate behavior by asking women how to build and rebuild the community. When in all actuality, when in reality, it's the men's job in the community to establish infrastructure and economy and to improve things. That don't seem odd to y'all? That don't seem odd? That don't seem weird? Then to further illustrate his homosexual demeanor, he accidentally shares the wrong camera and screen shares his bussy buddy laid up in his bed. Probably just got his back blown out. And I can't. And then we'll still have detractors here. I was listening to Sinji all day yesterday and Miss Archduchess, who did a live about this. And the Naker Kitty Cat Pussy Gang Brigade called in talking about how, oh no, he intentionally did that. He's an expert marketer. He's doing this because, he understands that it's good for publicity. All publicity is good publicity. Someone even said that a stranger hacked his computer and shared that. And it's like, really? Like, why would a stranger, if you're going to hack somebody's shit, why would you show something as subtle and something as silly as someone asleep? You know what I mean? Like, a hacker is going to be lewd. Just like, did y'all hear about that Walmart hack where someone got access to all these emails and ended up sending Walmart emails saying, hey, Nigger. I don't want to say the N-word because I don't want to get flagged, but sent that an email blast to all of those folks. That was something very, very direct. That was something very controversial. That was something explicitly like they wanted to wreak havoc. That wasn't something subtle. That wasn't something, so silly and so minute and so slight that you honestly, if you looked away for a second, you would have missed that little clip. So no, a hacker wouldn't do that. A hacker is going to be very direct, very in your face, and is going to explicitly cause trouble. They're not just going to share a screen of somebody laying in a bed. And I just can't. So let's add all of this up. Let's add up his track record. So he argues regularly with women, has a clear disdain for women. And if you know, like I know, only the queens do that. Men who are men don't argue with women. They just don't. So if you look at like the Real Housewives and Love and Hip Hop, the men who are throwing drinks on women, the men who are cussing other women out, they are queens. They are the girls. Because men don't do that. They just don't. I remember even in high school noticing that all the gay boys in high school would fuss with the girls and sometimes even fight with other women. But it's because deep down they identify as women and they want to be one. So they'll attack femininity any chance that they can get because they experience a deep insecurity and a deep state of envy about other women. They want to be in your shoes. They want to be you. They want access to the men that you have access to. And this is why, this men will regularly try to degrade and denigrate your image in the eyes of other men because he wants access to those men. He wants them to be so turned off by you. That way it's easier for him to get access to them. Also, he wears purses and skinny jeans. What man walking around with a fanny pouch? Who does that? He also was a cheerleader in high school. Just a few weeks ago, it came out that he was a cheerleader, talking about he's unique in his yearbook. And he even openly says on Tasha K's interview about he was always accused of being gay all the time, all throughout high school. Now, coincidentally, he accidentally shares a screen of a man laying in his bed. Y'all, for real? And y'all still in denial. The Pussycat Gang is still in denial. And I guess they got to see Nature Boy. I guess they got to see a porn video of this man getting his pussy popped by another man for them to believe that he's gay. But even with Nature Boy, even though that porn you can still Google it and find it and view it till this day. Still, he has these loyal supporters and a slew of hoteps and hoteptresses that will follow him to the ends of the earth. And it's like, but is that what it takes? Do y'all literally have to see a picture of him busting it open and getting bent over? Because anyone with a half a brain cell can tell that this man is a gay male. And I know I have some gay followers that watch and support the content and have a keen gaydar. Can y'all share y'all's thoughts? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even if a queen releases a video of him exposing him getting bent over, his supporters are so brainwashed, they still gonna say, oh, that's Photoshop, that's CGI. Like, really? This man is gay. And when it comes out that he's exposed for getting bent over, when we have a queen or one of the kids share a picture and it goes viral of him sucking peen and him popping it open, I want y'all to come back to this video. Mark my words. Give me my things. Because I called it. This is a gay man. And his detractors have even said, I heard them say, well, it don't matter if he gay. Let's say he is. And it's like, it don't matter. Well, okay, so if I'm not interested in women and am a homosexual and have a disdain for women because I want to be women, how can I give dating advice to heterosexuals who are attracted to women? If the kitten is not attracted to women and has no interest in attracting women, how can he give other women advice on how to attract heterosexual men who are? Let's use common sense here. So it does matter, and it is relevant, and it is important. What are y'all talking about? I mean, if this man wants to, if he's attracted to other men and he wants to take the place of a woman and wants to be a woman, he's not going to say anything positive or anything uplifting about the people that he envies, point blank. And actually, he's going to be extremely critical, which we see him do regularly, because regardless of how these women act, regardless of how they look, regardless of how they interact with them, they can be the most submissive. Beyonce, this man even said Saweetie was a 6. Sweetie the rapper was a 6. So regardless of what you do, how you interact with him, if you're respectful, he will demean you because he hates women, period, because he wants to be a black woman. So, okay, I want to further examine these kitty cats' demeanors and talk through how King Pussycat and the Pussycat Brigade really, really hate women in general, so we can further analyze the Kitten Hills and his supporters' problematic mentality. So let's watch this next video that talks through that, and then let's unpack.
Not true at all. That is not why men.
I'm mind blown that this young gentleman just proved to me the conversations I have with other black women. Our men don't like us. They have a disdain, a hate, a resentment, and a grudge in their heart behind the fact that black women advance more than them. What do we hear in Forbes and magazines all the time? Black women businesses are booming. It's never black men. They can't stand that we get praised more or more attention from them. No matter what we do, they do not like us. His choice of wording, calling the young girl bitch, his whole energy, his tone. He is the proof, babe, these men don't like us no matter what we do. That type of man right there, as sad as it is to see that he exposed so much hate he has in his heart, those are the type of men you stay far the fuck away from. Abusive. Inside and up here, not rap tight. They do not like.
Okay. So here she is really deducing, and I'm really hitting the nail on the head about these kitty cats, these pussy cats' behavior and their demeanors and their mentality. And it's actually, this is interesting because this poor girl is clearly still a mammy. You can tell by her voice and the words that she uses. So she says our men. So you can tell that she's still very close and very engaged by this community and this group of men, and that she's hurt by this behavior. And it looks like she's still holding out hope for a unicorn in one of these very, very rare, non existing good Black men. In any event, what she's saying is true. So, we don't want to throw the baby with the bathwater. We have the capability to chew the meat and spit out the bones. So what she's saying is accurate. So these pussycats do have a natural disdain for us. And it's not just certain kittens, it's all of them. It's all of them. And like she indicated, they're all jealous because they're effeminate and they're in some sort of secret competition with us. So as opposed to uplifting and upholding us and wanting to see us succeed and strive, they understand that they're at the bottom of the totem pole, and that the pennies that are thrown their way, they're competing with us for them. And so she talks about how they get upset when we start successful businesses and when we're striving and when we're celebrated and uplifted. I think of Goldman Sachs, all those men triggered because Goldman Sachs sees the potential in Black women and wants to invest in us, and how angry some of these men are. It truly is because they want to be with they want to be you, and they want to be in your shoes. So they denigrate Black women because they want to be you, and they want access to the same resources that you're given because you're women. So let's look at this man spoofing your typical pussy cat kitten and really hitting the nail on the head and epitomizing the mentality and the pathology of these men.
Women have to meet a certain criteria to even talk to me. As a high value male, I'm always getting to that bag and getting to that paper. How you want a high value man, but you out of shape? 2 words, ladies: self-awareness. I gotta know who I'm dealing with before I even go on a date. And how much money do you make here? She make more than me. I miss the old days. When women used to cook, clean, stay home, and men would go to war. Not everything for the old days. And rate yourself from 1 to 10 without using 7. Don't you live with your mama? What'd she say, bro? Most women in this generation are gold diggers. I don't know if they with me for me or for my money. Hey, I just finished staying up last month. I really gotta go to war to be a man. Ma'am, what you're not gonna do is talk. What you're not, get your ass off.
So you see, so it's interesting because I see videos like this, common parodies that Black men have made, because they see how ridiculous these kittens, their antics are. And this is why you recently saw Omar calling Kitten Hill Samuels out, because it's clear how much of a joke this kitty clique is. So this man is illustrating your average kitten and their behavior and their mentality. He talks about and makes fun of these high standards of what these men look for in a woman. So yes, she needs to be in shape. They'll say she needs to be submissive. She needs to be beautiful because he's a so-called high value male. But then like he cuts to him asking a woman how much money she makes, and then he says, "Well, damn, she makes more than I do." He also talks about how, they'll call you a gold digger, but they live with their mama. And then claiming that women want them for their money, but his broke ass ran out of gas, and now he's hitchhiking because he just filled up his tank last month. And so it's just really funny because even this group of men understand how ridiculous and how silly Kitten Hill Samuels and those red pill men, how silly they come off and how silly their mentality is and how problematic their mentality is, because the large majority of these men, statistically, we know on average, these men are lucky to make $40,000 a year, which I think breaks down to $20 at best. This is your average kitten. They're broke, beer-bellied, balding, busted, and disgusted men, but they want Beyonce on their arms. So let's actually look at the king kitten, Kitten Hill Samuels himself, displaying his innate problematic behavior, and then let's talk through. Let's see if I can make this a little bit larger.
Why the doubling of the weight?
You know, yeah, again, personal stuff, lost in myself, not caring, just great, like straight up. It was, I stopped giving a damn. You know, I wasn't working as hard. I stopped going on runs and things like that.
And during that time, have you had sex?
During what time? When I was younger?
During the time you fell off, were you having sex at any time during that time?
Yeah, for sure. You know,
and that's the problem, guys. You continue to stick your penis in this. That's the problem. That's why they can get on the camera and start talking about mediocre men when big as a planet, smoking a cigarette. I mean, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, okay, I cannot honestly sit back and listen to a woman who's built like the planet Ego talk about mediocre men while she's smoking on a motherfucking Newport. Are you serious?
Okay. So, you know, this is the kitty pussycat, Kitten Hill Samuels, really displaying in all his full glory his problematic behavior. And he's just disrespectful here. So this girl is overweight. He calls this girl big as a planet. So you see, you know, she's docile, she's passive, she's submissive, she isn't confrontational, she isn't being abrasive, but it doesn't matter. She's a Black woman. So he'll look for any reason to denigrate and disrespect you just because these men hate women. Let's look at another clip of King Kitten Hill Pussycat Samuels illustrating these groups of men problematic behaviors.
The money you're making is seasonal. There will be a new it chick every season. And what ends up happening is if you don't take the money you have while you're hot, and if you're not flexible enough to listen to people who know better, you'll just have a lot of money that you blow.
And we can have a conversation about it. Go ahead. You got something, and then we'll turn it to Kevin. And then we'll let you speak as well, Damaris.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry. It's fine. It's open forum. You know what I'm saying? Say your piece. I saw that you wanted to say something earlier.
No, every time. And me too. I feel like you said you were being respectful, but you weren't. As a man, I feel like you have no place to tell women how to make their money. And then you're referring to it as a sex industry. Just because you have OnlyFans doesn't mean you're having sex on it. You could be cooking on OnlyFans. You could do whatever you want. So I just feel like I'm just offended. And it's not just towards me, it's towards women, because men have no place at all to say how women should and shouldn't.
We have every place. We built the goddamn world you live in.
No, you didn't.
I'm gonna say what is built by men.
I'm gonna say
nobody made this about men or women.
Not get paid. I stay here. So
this is what tends to happen when whether it's OnlyFans, TikTok, Instagram, and when women can't handle it, they leave. This is the point. This is about business. Business isn't offensive, but when people in their lack of knowledge gets exposed, they get offended. They call themselves experts and business owners and everything else. You're online strippers. Would make a little bit of money. Congratulations. I'm good with escorts. I'm good with strippers. But when someone like Hafiz or myself tries to sit down and talk to you about your level of ignorance, you're offended. Your ignorance is what offends you. It's offensive to me that you're going to try to make this about men and sexism. This is what the world has done. It's got little pampered princesses who can get online, make some money, and think that they're on the same level as men who built this world, and they are not. That's what you just saw them leave, because they can't go get onto Wall Street, Main Street, anywhere, into a bank, into anybody's business to be taken seriously with their so-called business plan or their go-to-market strategy. You're taking what the world has given you, your creator has given you, and you put it online. Thank men for building the internet, the computers, the smartphone, and everything else that allows you to sit up in your luxury apartment and get paid for showing your feet. We did that. You didn't. And in 10 years, when no one wants to see your feet or your G-string or your tattoos or whatever else, Afiz, Chris, the roommates, Mario, Fresh, not Mario, Myron, Fresh, we will all be still running our businesses because we don't get emotional about business. When somebody tells us we have a hole in our game, we humble ourselves, we check ourselves, we get better. That's what men do because we have the business of building the world. We can't fucking walk off like babies because it happened. I didn't like it. See, Atlas can't shrug. If we shrugged, you would die. That's what happens every time one of you little crybabies gets called out here on the platform you came to get attention you asked for. When you get more smoke than you're willing to handle, you want to cry and stomp off. Well, kick rocks, and guess what? There'll be a new one tomorrow because neither one of y'all on the panel can honestly say that you are bringing something to the market that ain't 15 other chicas down on the street bringing. None. So when we sit here and try to have a conversation with you and tell you, guess what? Whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, every new influencer, every new person thinks just because they have the dope content, they've got the fucking key. They've discovered fire. They've invented the wheel. And there's more that goes into it than just turning on a camera and saying, hi, I'm on YouTube. Hi, I'm on Facebook. Hi, I'm on OnlyFans. It takes planning. It takes work. It takes strategy. It takes business knowledge. It takes collaboration. It takes a lot of things that you obviously don't have. And that's why you're upset, because at the end of the day, you know you don't have them, and you don't have the patience, the intelligence, even the patience, the intelligence, even the resources to sit down and just listen. So carry your cell phone, and when OnlyFans stops, Subway will be hiring. Oh my God, my
wow. So there's so much that's problematic about that clip. I don't know where to start. So let's start with him indicating that he says, we, verbatim, we built the world that you live in. And my knee-jerk response was, what did you build, Kevin? What did you build, Kevin? What did Black men build as a whole? I'm curious. Entertain me. What infrastructure, what economy, what industries did you build as a whole collectively? Because it's well documented that both in the past and the present, you have a documented history of failing over and over again. So tell me, what did you build? Humor me. And he's indignantly and erroneously claiming these accomplishments of the men who conquered him. You built nothing. You have no ownership in anything. You have no claim to anything. And this is why a century later, you're sitting here begging for reparations, begging for pennies and handouts from the country that was built on the backs of you. So both past and present, when we look throughout the history books, historically, you have no ownership in anything. And the resources, the little resources that you did have, you passively allowed them to be stripped away from you. And I'm talking about on every single level. So I'm talking about if we look at it on a macro level and a micro level, when we look at the continents that you possess, the countries and the cities that were yours, on every single level, even on a granular level, you passively were overpowered and allowed other groups to enter your space and to take everything from you. So when we think about centuries ago in Africa, where Europeans easily conquered you and stole your women and stole your resources and stole your children and enslaved you. And then, fast forward to today, we see that the Chinese are overpowering you and are dominating those spaces in those areas and are becoming billionaires and are ruling your continent and stripping you of your resources still to this day. Let's look at a more granular level. So decades ago in America, you built Black Wall Street. That's all I hear is Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street. We built Black Wall Street, but then it was burned down. But then you passively and cowardly allowed these resources to be stripped away from you and didn't fight for them, allowed for it to be burned down and allowed for them to be taken away from you. And today in these same so-called chocolate cities that you run, everything is in ruins. And everyone is in extreme impoverishment and is struggling. So what exactly have you built? Seriously, humor me. But this really just illustrates the delusion that you'll see in the illusions of grandeur in this community with these groups of men, because this is truly what they believe. They're taking ownership and are prideful to own and have some claim in strides and in accomplishments that they did not execute. and accomplishments that the men that they were conquered by, that they were overpowered by, actually accomplished. And he's in here calling them online strippers and escorts. And it's like, dude, let's not act like you're this media mogul and you've built this $1 billion brand. No, you're a struggle backdoor YouTuber. You're a relationship expert with no credentials. You call yourself an image consultant, but essentially you're just a shiesty salesman who also depends on YouTube and your online presence for your way of living. Because we know if YouTube disappeared tomorrow, then you'd be asked out. And it's like, you're a grifter. You're a grifter. You're a panhandler, and you're begging for pennies and super chats and cash apps online because this is how you make your money on another men's platform. So let's keep going. I want to look at this other example of the pussycat illustrating his problematic toxic behavior, and then I want to unpack. So I think this isn't it. Let's see. I think this might. Oh, I know where it is. Here we go.
I'm almost years old, and I am struggling to hold a simple conversation. Did you graduate from high school? What is the highest grade you completed? Okay. So what are you doing to get your GED? What are you doing to get your GED?
I did it, but I'm damn so smart enough to get it.
Okay. So this is really sad. So what we just watched is this girl with very low self-esteem calling into King Kitten Hill's show. And this is really sad to watch because this woman is clearly broken. She can't even complete a full sentence without bursting in tears because this is how badly she feels about herself and where she's at in life. She needs therapy. She needs therapy. She does not need to be calling in to the Kitten Hill show. And he's telling her, I think he says to seek professional help. I think he says on his show every so often, but he talks about how old she is and criticizes her for being unable to hold a convo. And it's because she's broken. And I would encourage you ladies to, these men get off on that. They get off on seeing you low and seeing you downtrodden and broken. So please do not call into this men's show. You shouldn't be calling into it anyway. But if you are, I really, really beg that you reflect and make sure that you're secure about yourself and confident about where you're at, because they're getting off on subjugating this woman to, being able just to berate her and denigrate her and seeing her suffer because they love to see Black women hurt and broken. So let's actually look at another kitten who was clearly influenced by King Pussy Hill Samuels. And let's review his problematic pathology and his toxic mentality here. So here's a man talking about, although he has 2 children or multiple children with 2 baby mothers, he has extremely high standards and talks about what he doesn't want. So I'll say less and we'll just view this and then we'll unpack. Oh, shoot.
Counting women out for the flaws that they have themselves. If a woman has a child and you have a child, it makes no sense to me how you would not be willing to date her. And then also, hold on, there's plenty of women who might not be like my mother and my father weren't together, but my father was a provider. Whoever my mother dated never had to worry about me financially in any way. So I don't understand that. It's like the child could have a daddy that's taking care of him, so you don't got to worry about him being your quote-unquote bill.
I've done the stepdad, okay? Took care of 2 kids. There's no trophy in that. Now you got to deal with their mouth. You got to deal with, a man walking into their life when they grown and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a situation, so I'm speaking on facts. Other people, they speaking about what looks great on the wall, okay? I'm speaking about going through a situation. All right. So, y'all could keep the fucking comments because I don't really give a fuck about what y'all say.
Really started aggravating that man.
All right, let's look at the next clip.
The other thing, like I was saying, it has nothing to do about being provided. Blended families are a hard situation. They add on the power to your own shit. Because the thing is, in a traditional relationship, the man is the head, right? So if your son gets disrespectful at 15, 16, and can't will you allow your man to discipline your kid? He can pay for him, but can he discipline him? Most women would say,
listen, you know what? Here's the deal. If you don't want to date a woman with children, fine.
I said she got to be a hell of a woman.
So what is a hell of a woman? What is hell of a woman?
Okay, so if you barely making it, then you say, I got 2 kids, 3 kids, by 3 different baby daddies. It's kind of like a strike off. I mean, it's like a point off.
You got 2 different baby mamas?
Who said I got 2?
Are they both by the same?
No, well, y'all putting stories together. They shit that.
Because you told me.
The other thing, like I was saying, it has shit that.
Because you told me that the 10-year-old was coming to live with you, and you got a 2-year-old. So you acting like your resume, basically everything you're saying, you have that resume. Like if the woman you're describing would be you if you were a woman.
Shit that.
Because you told me that the 10-year-old was coming to live with you, and you got a 2-year-old. So you acting like your resume, basically everything you're saying, you have that resume. Like if the woman you're describing would be you if you were a woman.
Shit.
Okay, so enough of that. So here we see this low budget, great value kitty cat. This is a knockoff Puss in Boots Samuels. He even got the glass of whiskey to top it off with. But this really illustrates how delusional these men are and how collectively they just have this very skewed, very out of touch with reality mentality. So he talks about how he has not 1, but 2 children with 2 different women, and then has the nerve to fix his mouth to say he won't date a woman with kids. And it's like, well, most childless women, they wouldn't want to date a man with 2 baby mothers. They wouldn't. And this is what I mean. The goalpost is always moving with these fools. So there's always that double standard. So that woman that Pussycat Kitten Hill Samuels denigrated, who he called average at best, she was making 6 figures and simply wanted a man and sought after a man who made the same. That was too much to ask for, according to this group of men. But this man has 2 illegitimate bastard children, and he feels comfortable asking for a childless woman, although he has 2 with 2 different women. He's out here slinging peen everywhere and has all of these children running around the world. It's probably getting his wages garnished by child support courts. But we're supposed to agree that it makes sense that he can ask for a woman without any children, and that's reasonable. And so, like I said, like she said, if you're a female, you'd be that woman that you're saying you don't want. It's so delusional. It doesn't make much sense. So one thing that I'll say that I've noticed about these men that you probably have as well is that these standards and this vitriol that they possess are totally geared towards Black women. So they will be nice as pie. They will be sweet as sugar when they are around other groups of women, when they're around Becky, when they're around Maria, when they're around other groups of women. So let's view how their demeanor totally changes and these same rules just don't apply and are not applicable around other groups of women. So let's watch this and then we will discuss.
Because you talk.
Maybe I should start listening to Kevin Samuels.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. A lot of these guys on YouTube are going over to Brazil.
I like your glasses.
Uh-oh. There you go.
And now.
He's so damn ugly.
It's good to be the king.
Right? I look good.
Yeah.
Who looks better?
They're gonna say you. I mean, you wanna try them on?
Yeah, already tried.
Oh, she's stuffing it, right?
She's on a diet. What do you have?
I don't know. Passion fruit.
Passion fruit?
Mango.
You're healthy.
Yeah. So
I have some coconut and chocolate stuff.
You like that? See? Look good. Frames, fragrance, and footwear. Always take good. What are you guys doing after this?
Sorry?
So these women are interrupting him. They're invading his space. They take off his glasses. Could you imagine if he was in Ghana or if he was in, I don't know, New York City or Harlem and a group of Black women did that and what his response would be? You see what I mean? He would cuss those women the F out because he don't even like if you accidentally interrupt him, even if you're being respectful and you apologize and are being apologetic about it, non-confrontational on his show, he will cuss you the F out. And he will call you the scum of the earth, and you'll be every B, every stupid hoe, every disrespectful, masculine. You act like a man. You're big as a planet. If you say the slightest thing wrong in his space as a Black woman, he will go on attack mode. But you see how around these other groups of women, I think he said that he's in Brazil, they're able to take his glasses off his face. They're able to touch him, even though you could tell he was taken aback. But he is sweet as pie, and it's so kind and it's so patient with these women and talk to them like they're the best thing since sliced bread. You see what I mean? So you see his demeanor totally changes, and these same rules of, respect my masculinity, respect my authority, they do not apply. They don't apply because the standard is different when it comes to you Black women. So hopefully that epitomizes all of these different instances, really illustrate the public behavior and problematic pathology of these kitty cat, Kitten Hill Samuels groups of men, these pussycat men. If you've come to my channel, hopefully you aren't subscribed to that ideology, and hopefully you're not impacted or interested at all in what these kittens think. You shouldn't be impacted by their thoughts or their opinions or their views that they express about you. On the offhand chance that you are and you're still impacted by what they think, please just remember that these men are toxic and a bunch of bitches, and they're really a bunch of jokes. And the reality is that they are truly at the bottom of the totem pole. They're at the bottom of the hierarchy. They're bottom feeders. So who cares about what they think? Who cares? Who cares about what the run of the litter thinks? And I really think that the reason why they're so bitter and why they have so much vitriol towards Black women is because they are the weakest link. So, like I said, they're the scum of the earth when you think about the world globally, and they are so conquered and downtrodden. So what do the weak runts of the litter do? What do they do? They have the tendency, the bullied have the tendency to turn that anger and rage towards whoever they feel is weaker than they are. So it's kind of like when you think about the man who is shit on consistently at work and who is powerless at work, then he'll come home and he'll kick the cat. And he'll take that out on his wife and on the dog. And that's what these men are doing. That's what your pussycats are doing. They have no power, no dominion, no say-so in the real world, in the outside world. So they come back home like the little bees that they are, and they assert their power in the only place that they feel power in. So they'll project that toxicity and project that anger onto the weaker woman and the children in their lives. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed creating it. I really appreciate you guys listening and watching. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.
fellas, if y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.